Hello everyone, my name is Moot Monthly, and today we're gonna be talking about the new Pokemon Horizons episodes. So let me pull this up actually on a fresh tab. Actually, give me one moment. Um, OBS, we'll change this window. Oh yeah, change this to boom. Perfect. All right. So we have a decent amount to talk about today. We got both titles and summaries for we got titles and summaries for 94 to 96. I believe we only got the title for 97. Yeah, we only got the title for 97, but overall we got a decent amount of stuff to go over. Uh, as a whole, the next four episodes are what seems to be a mix between something of a mix between filler and plot at the same time, which I really like. I think that filler that keeps the plot in mind and the narrative in mind is the best kind of filler. I think that's what most of these episodes really are, aside from like 95, which is just like explicitly a plot episode. But in general, this pacing and the way that they're approaching these episodes is really, really good. I'm very impressed. I'm actually like just generally really excited to see these. So let's go over these. So first episode is 94, the Pokemon Center Lady. So Lady is like it was translated in Japanese as Neisan, which means like an older sister. Well, not even no, not even an older sister, but just like a sister, like a lady. I guess you just say a lady, but it was a little more. It's not just like lady, but someone who's like more approachable than just like some random person, right? So when Liko and the others learn that more and more Pokemon in a forest are getting sick, they begin to investigate the matter. In the process, they run into Molly, who's treating poisoned wild Pokemon, but the happy reunion gets interrupted by cries from scared Pokemon coming from the depths of the forest. So, I mean, let's break this down a little bit. So, Molly once again is the first Rising Volt tackler to get screen time. Now, you can say that they're doing it in order of importance. That back in the first arc they did Molly first and then Oreo. No, Molly first, then Murdoch, and then Oreo got her own like early into arc two. But I feel like these are the kinds of episodes we need of the Rising Volt tacklers in arcs 2, 3, and 4. Kind of sucks that we never really got those. In my opinion, what's up, Arcane? In my opinion, they shouldn't have just like thrown the RVTs aside. Like we know that they're writing the show in accordance to audience feedback, which is why the writing for Mega Voltage is so different. And that's also why the Rising Voltaclers basically stopped existing after Arc 2. And that was primarily because people were complaining that they were taking the spotlight from the kids, but in actuality, they helped flesh out the kids by giving them additional relationships and stuff. So I really thought that was kind of a missed opportunity that they did that. It's going to be a missed opportunity if Molly didn't go into hiding by pretending to be a Nurse Joy. I don't think that she needed to do that. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't seem like the Rising Voltaclers are criminals. They're just like social pariahs. It's like Elon Musk, although Elon Musk does commit crimes, but like it's kind of like Elon Musk where everyone hates him, but it's not like the police are going to go out and arrest him if he gets cited or whatever. Was a time skip always planned? Yeah, it always was. It was always planned to be a time skip. The time skip's context was different a bit. It was a little different, but in general, the idea of a time skip was a fundamental tenet of the plot, even whenever they were originally pitching the plot to investors back in 2022. So yeah, that's 94. It's very interesting that we just get this one shot of Molly, and it appears that Molly is not joining them in the next episodes, which makes me think that, in general, like it's The Rising Vault Tacklers aren't separated out of necessity; they're separated by choice, which is an interesting concept. So yeah, that's 94. I'm excited for this episode. I'm excited to see Molly again. I hope that we get more of these episodes about the Rising Bull Tacklers because I feel like they just like skipped an entire year's worth of development for them for basically no reason. Like just because they're adults doesn't mean that they can't have evolving character relationships. Like the fact that we didn't get like some romance between Freed and Oreo, even though it was kind of implied, is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. Next, we have the Strong Sphere. So this is the big episode, and you can kind of tell that by how short the summary is. Like, this is going to be your plot episode for May, right? Like, this is your big plot episode. So Liko and Roy make their way into an Exceed testing center where a demonstration battle showcasing the Strong Sphere, a new product that makes Pokemon stronger, is taking place. However, just then, Uruto arrives at the testing center as well. So this this could be that thing we saw at Anime Japan. People were posting that picture of like the weird sphere next to the Requiem spheres. It's very obvious that like Spinel is using Requiem to make Pokemon more powerful. Like that was always like the main reason he was interested in it. I mean, even back then, like he was showing off to Liko and Amethio how it made his Umbreon stronger, right? Like he was always interested in using, even back then, he was interested in using Requiem mainly for power and not really to help other people or whatever, right? Even though that's like what he said. Well, Gideon was alive. And in Gideon's presence in 87. Yeah, and also 89. So it's clear that this was always his end goal. Like he basically created his own gimmick. Like that's what he did. He created his own gimmick using Requiem. And it's clear that this was always the goal for him. Like this is what he's been working on this entire time. Um so Liko and Roy seem to be trying to well, they obviously know it's an Exceed testing center. So it's most likely that they're like sneaking in to gain information on what Spinel is doing exactly. And it does seem like Uruto is going to be making an appearance, and he's probably going to just like throw the whole plot into shreds. This is very interesting. I like that a lot. I think this is exactly the kind of role Uruto needs. And this is a good way to introduce him into the plot, as it were. Yeah, so that's 95. Obviously, this is going to be the big boy episode, most likely written by either Matsuzawa or the story writers. So, looking forward to that. I hope we get an appearance from Spinel. Like, Spinel should be there, I would say. Next up is 96, Clash, the Dragon Speed Gang. Liko and the others learn of an eyewitness account of the Black Rayquaza near Fusube City, which is Blackthorn City, the home of a clan of dragon Pokemon trainers. But when they head there to investigate, a trio of masked Mototokage riders show up. Mototokage is Cyclizar. So this is another episode in which they're weaving the idea of a filler episode into the main narrative of the show and the main like the main it's just the main narrative show, but they're putting in plot threads to create the impetus to have a filler episode. They're doing the same thing with episode 93. This is great. Okay? This is that like it is filler within the plot and is filler in the plot that has build up to it and also could potentially have follow up. That's why this shit is so good. When you look at like filler previously in Horizons and even in the anime, like sometimes it would just be like random episodes just like in a vacuum. And while those are fine, it feels like it's almost disconnected. Like that's the reason why people skip it, is because it feels disconnected not only from the narrative but sometimes it's even disconnected from like the actual characterization of the characters. Like I mean, just look at like I think Journeys was really bad about this. How Go would basically not even be the same character during filler episodes, where he would basically just be like a slightly smarter, slightly less athletic Ash. In like, and they would like echo each other's sentences and everything. Like, it's like they just lobotomize him because uh, they treat it as filler. Not only us, but the writers themselves treat it as filler, and they don't necessarily. Of course, this isn't true all the time, right? This is not. This is not. I'm not saying it's like this all the time because it's not. There are some excellent filler episodes, but um, a lot of the time the writers themselves are using it as just like a little slam dunk, like a little easy shot. Like, okay, yeah, let me just get this contract. Let me get this done. Oh yeah, easy 200,000 yen. Oh yeah, that's basically what they were doing. Um, the screenplay writers were doing in most filler episodes, but this is different, right? It's filler, but it's within a continuous story from day to day, and that is great because it feels engaging. You feel incentivized to watch the episode, and the episode itself is more interesting with the plot and the way they approach certain things and the events and how you can see the characters develop in real time. That's really good. The last episode we only have a title for. It's the Sly Stunfisk's Lovely Smile. Jesus Christ, that was a mouthful. That's the episode airing on the 30th, episode 97, and of course, like we already knew, like let's be straight up. We already knew that Mega Voltage was gonna be like this, right? Because let alone all these titles and stuff, even in the opening, the last scene in the opening shows a bunch of random people. And all of those random people, although, it was kind of apparent even then, like all of those random people are people who will be showing up in the next episodes. And as a result, for all those random characters to show up, it has to be a bunch of random plots, right? So, like, that's fine, though. Because I think that this arc is designated to show off the main character's character progression they've had over the past year, as well as the inter-character dynamics between the main people in the group. So, Liko and Roy, Liko and Dot, Roy and Dot, and Roy and Uruto, and also Uruto and Liko and Dot, but, that's irrelevant at this point. That's what these episodes are for. It's to put these characters, it's to show the viewer what these characters do in a variety of different situations, right? That is so good. And it shows a lot of cognizance about pacing and storytelling that, we didn't really necessarily get in the anime. And even in earlier Horizons, I feel like, I mean, I'm really going to get into this here about what I really think about, like, the way they've been writing the narrative for this show. It's pretty clear that after Arc 1, they basically decided, like, okay, we need to retrain the writing for Year 2 to be a little more Pokemon focused, and showing Paldea and all that. Like, you need to do, more of that stuff. And they did that. And the problem is that it completely fucked up the narrative that they had developed, the outline they had made for the show. As a result, it kind of felt like they were always kind of flying by the seat of their pants, writing every single episode. There was random plot holes, random contradictions. Like, the overall narrative was kind of threadbare, and that's being generous. So now that we've gotten that time skip, we've gotten the breathing room, they've had time to completely reset and write Year 3 straight on as something that can be consistent. It can make sense. Like, you don't have to worry about random shit like ZA or whatever being introduced in the middle of your year to just completely fuck up the pacing and the direction you had for the show. So they have more confidence now in how they're going to approach the year, and how they're going to execute individual episodes. This is not unique to Horizons. This happens in every single anime show. That's why the third year of so many of these shows, or fourth year, given however long the show is, are so good and so consistent. Like, remember year 3 of Journeys? How insane that was? The reason why year 3 of Journeys was so good was because they, like, well, one, they knew that the show was going to end in December, and they also knew like that this was Ash's last series. They decided they had finalized it, because even though they were planning for Journeys to be Ash's last series, they hadn't completely finalized it until like year 3, at least according to the Terra League. Like, year 3 of Journeys was so consistently great, animation execution aside. I'm talking about from a writing and pacing standpoint, okay, guys? Was so consistently great the whole way through, from start to finish. The only thing that really sucked about like, genuinely, Alon is just me being mad, okay? Alon losing to Leon wasn't a big deal. Like, I mean, like, let's just be honest. I'm talking from an objective standpoint. I'm completely erasing my actual biases about the show in this. Like, it was so consistently good from a writing standpoint the whole way. The only issues was the animation, the episode pacing because of the recaps, but that wasn't because of the writing or direction. That was just because the production of the show couldn't keep up. So, you can't really like knock the pacing of the show for the recaps, because those aren't even officially included in the actual episode list. Like, they're literally just things. That said, it's really good. The fucking thing is amazing. Like, Journeys, Sun and Moon, XY. I mean, XY was great the whole way through, but XYZ especially. Like, all of this is because the writers and the directors have more confidence in what the franchise is actually going to do in the next year. Like, they didn't know ZA was even going to be a thing in year 1. Third year of Black and White was the Decalore Islands. Okay, well, the Decalore Islands, Black and White was a special case, okay? Black and White was a special case, okay? That Black and White was a shit show all around. And, I mean, that was like, there's the earthquake and all that. Black and White was crazy. I'm not even going to talk about Black and White. Did I say Black and White? I didn't mean to. But Darren Pearl was like that, though. In general, where was I? Yeah, like, they didn't even know ZA existed when they started writing the show in year 1. It was only in year 2. Like, it was only in, like, year 2 where they knew it was going to come and they introduced the Zygarde. Well, I mean, they knew it was going to be a Zygarde, but they timed it with the release of ZA, which means they knew at that point. But they didn't even know when they were first writing the year 1 episodes that ZA was a thing and Mega Evolution was going to come back. They didn't even know. So, as a result, Mega Evolution showing up in year 3 was not planned. They didn't plan that for Roy at all. The same goes, that's why they introduced Urto and all this other stuff. Like, this stuff was never planned to be a thing. So, yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, so year 3, like, now they know everything that's going to happen, right? They know ZA. They know Gen 10 is going to be next year. They've already started pre-production for Gen 10. Gen 10's been pre-production since, like, September. It's April now, so it's been 9 months. Like, Gen 10 is already well on its way. They've probably already got a couple episode drafts for Gen 10 done. Gen 10's going to have new MC for anime? Most likely. I know it's a guy MC, though. I don't know if it's Ash. I don't think it's Ash, but I know it's going to be a guy MC. In general, Liko is the weakest part of her own show. And, like, they've gotten that feedback. They've, yeah. How do you know the Rika covered fun stuff isn't tabloid stuff? It's not about Rika's COVID tax whatever. That's not what it was. Like the issue is that there's issues with them with her in the studio, and her and Ikue, whatever her name is, the Pikachu voice actress, apparently don't like each other like at all, which is weird. Like you think if they worked together for 25 years they'd like each other a little bit, but apparently they don't. So yeah, it's just there's so much drama that like Rika's probably never coming back. Like there's just a lot of staff drama, but we don't really know a lot of the specifics. But I mean, the fact that Game Freak themselves knew about the studio drama makes me think that it's pretty fucking serious. If the fucking executives of the franchise know about random voice actress drama, I bet it was a pretty fucking big deal. Um, because it's Japan. They don't like outwardly like publicly talking about this stuff unless it's like criminal, and even then sometimes they cover it up. So we're probably never gonna really learn what the drama was about. But I mean, those guys cover up bullying in schools. Even like schools cover up bullying because they don't want the public image of the school to worsen, right? Like it's like just that's just how Japan is. But in general, yeah. How do in general, yeah, I think that Mega Voltage is going in a really good direction right now. It's like I'm kind of shocked at this execution. Like this is basically exactly the way fillers should be, and the way they weave the filler and the main narrative from one episode to the next is just so fucking good. This really gives me Arc 1 vibes because, like the Arc 1 episodes, like even like the Galar arc where they went to go talk with Kabu, and they also. Was his name Kabu? I think his name was Kabu. I forget. I think it was Kabu. And also the Murdoch episode and all that. Like the way the episodes weave together, even though those were written by Suchi and Nakao, I know that. Um, they still were like in the narrative and they weren't random, and they felt organic. So in fact, the Kabu episodes were actually really good from Suchiya. So in general, these episodes I have very high hopes for. I really want to see how these characters interact with other people because that's like something we haven't seen yet. Really, is the way they interact with others. Um, yeah. Overall, very promising. Does seem like Uruto is going to be showing up sporadically, not necessarily in every episode, because he's not mentioned in 94 or 96 or 97. Although he's probably following them. I don't know if he's clearly not traveling with them permanently. Although they should, they should. I mean, I'm sure that there's going to be some watershed moment in at like the end of this core about Uruto joining them finally. But for now, it seems like he's just following them around. Yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. I mean, we're still waiting for these staff lists to we're still waiting for these staff lists to show up. So I'm a little skeptical. I still want to see these staff lists. I still want to see all that. I want to see the animation for next week's episode. Well, not even next week. I mean, today's the 24th, right? It's literally in 2 days. No, wait, it's tomorrow. Wait, what the fuck? Okay, there's an episode tomorrow. I would have just streamed this tomorrow. Bro, look, I've been really busy, okay, guys. There's been a lot of shit going on. I didn't have power in my house for 4 fucking days. So, like, there's been a lot of shit happening. I didn't know there was an episode tomorrow, so we'll probably do an episode tomorrow. I mean, we'll probably do a stream tomorrow if the episode is good. I don't think the episode is gonna be like these episodes don't seem like they're gonna be like wake up at 5 a.m. to go watch them important. So I'm probably just gonna live stream them. I'm gonna live stream either tomorrow or on Saturday in the morning. We'll review the episodes and all the lines and everything, the writing. But yeah, overall, very strong showing from the writer's desk so far in Mega Voltage. I mean, it's been banger after banger for the whole way through so far. The thing is, tomorrow's episode is going to decide a lot because it's the first time that Daisato is taking off the training wheels and is not writing the episode directly himself. Kureha Matsuzawa is an amazing writer, but we haven't seen him write the new characters yet. We haven't seen him write the time skip yet. I want to see how he handles it. He does seem to have a very good understanding of like how the characters work, which makes sense given that he's the script coordinator of the show. So I want to see how he approaches the new characters, if he's going to be any particularly different characterization from Sato. And of course, I want to see I want to see the staff list for these upcoming episodes. I expect that 95 will be written by story writers or Matsuzawa, but I want to see the staff writers for 94, 96, and 97 to get a good sense of who they're picking for what episodes, how they feel about the performance of the overall writing team in year two, because year two's writing was, quite frankly, a disaster when it came to screenplay writer scheduling. Like, the dude wrote like 7 of the last 8 episodes or whatever, right? Like, so I want to see all that. I want to see how it goes. Of course, tomorrow is the first big boy in-house episode animation-wise, so we are expecting good animation tomorrow. Good, bad, like Meowscarada versus Incineroar is gonna look good. Hopefully, we're expecting good animation tomorrow, more than anything. So definitely gonna be paying close attention to that, close attention to the animator staff list as well. Of course, to get all this analysis in real time and not wait for me to wait 3 days to make a live stream or whatever whenever I feel like it, join the Brave Asagi Discord server. Link is in the description below. I actually took the link off of my Twitter for a while, mainly because we were kind of getting inundated with people, and there's a lot of people either like sniping all of our stuff and like posting all over the place, which we don't really mind, but still annoying. And there's a lot of also like problematic Twitter users who were joining the Discord and like saying a bunch of dumb shit. So I took the link off my Twitter for a while, but invite link to the Discord is in the description of this live stream below. Subscribe. These streams have been doing really well. Unfortunately, I've just been too busy these days. Like I've worked like 8 of the last 9 days at my job, so I've just been too busy to really do live streams like just for fun, like daily, like I was before. But we'll probably try doing them more often in the future. They were doing really well, so yeah. So thank you all for watching. This was supposed to be just a short stream, like nothing too crazy. Um, yeah, it was supposed to just be a 30-minute stream, and yeah, it's about 30 minutes. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Join in the Discord and all that, so we can chat. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye bye.